Last year we were in Antwerp, Belgium, and we won first place in Lincoln Douglas debate. Yeah. 65 years.
A question.
Yes. Yes.
Is there any like famous people that you?
Do I what?
Has there been any like famous people that you've worked with?
Well, I don't know, but where are you from?
Colorado.
Colorado. Have you ever heard the name of Barbara Jordan?
Barbara Jordan.
Let's see, Barbara pictures it down the hall. I taught Barbara for 4 years. Have you ever heard of Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yes, sir.
I was the instructor in the Department of Religion at Morehouse College, where he attended, and he was in one of my classes.
That's amazing.
So, as a part of my experience, I can say I taught Martin Luther King, although at the time I didn't know that I was teaching him. In fact, it was not until 10 years later that I learned that I had taught him. Our team was in Atlanta, and we happened to have been eating at the same restaurant at which he ate, which was the only restaurant in which blacks could eat at that time. And when he came in, I said to my student, "Look, there's Martin Luther King." And before dinner was over, he came up to our table, stuck out his hand and said, "Dr. Freeman, you don't remember me, but I remember you. You taught me," and he went on to describe the course that I had taken. And I looked at him and said, "I did." And from then on, we knew who each other was. Subsequent to that, we appeared on programs together. And there was a time when they held the baccalaureate service and the commencement service on the same schedule. And he did the commencement address and I did the baccalaureate address. And at the beginning of his address, he acknowledged the fact that I had had some influence on him. Now, the fact that he knew who I was attested to a little bit later, when my brother, Dr. Paul Freeman, who was at that time the conductor of the Czechoslovakia Symphony Orchestra, he was in Oslo at the time that Martin received the Nobel Peace Prize. And he saw him in the airport, decided to speak to him, then said, "No, he doesn't know me, so I don't think I'll bother with speaking." Then he said, on second thought, "I might never get another chance to speak to him, so I'm going to introduce myself to him." So my brother, Dr. Paul Freeman, went up to him, stuck out his hand and said, "Dr. King, you don't know me." And before he could finish, Martin said, "Oh, yes, I do. You are Tom Freeman's brother." So there was no question about his knowing who I was. That's my encounter with Barbara Jordan. Oh, you can name a person after person. There are 4 or 5 bishops I've taught, lawmakers, preachers I've taught, school teachers. Over a period of 65 years, just think of it. Just think of 65 years with only 20 in your class a semester, multiplied by 5 classes, multiplied by 2 semesters, multiplied by 65. You count that, see what a number of persons who have passed by, many of whom have gone on to greatness. And does that answer your question? Yes.
So why haven't you retired yet?
You tell me a reason for retiring. Give me a reason for retiring.
Old age.
Tiredness.
I am not tired. Give me another one now.
Olding.
Old age?
Yeah.
I'm not old. I don't have old age. I'm just old. Another reason for retiring.
Lost interest.
I haven't lost interest. I work with a new group every semester. I just got back from Paris working with a group. I haven't lost interest. Now you give me a reason for retiring, then I can answer your question.
There's no reason.
Huh?
There's no reason to retire. There's no reason to retire.
A reason to retire is no reason to retire. As long as God gives me health and strength, and there's a need for my services, I will continue to serve.
Amen.
So what all subjects do you debate? Is it different?
We were in Paris, and we did what was known as parliamentary debate. In parliamentary debate, you get your topic 15 minutes before you are to speak. In 15 minutes, you have to prepare an argument for or against, depending upon whether or not you win the toss of the coin. Now, the subjects were related to experience in Paris. They've never been to Paris, and yet they must argue subjects based on Paris. And the last one, and by the way, our team did 4-0. We won all 4 debates. And the last one was, this house believes that free transportation is the best way to cure the pollution in Paris. That was the last topic. Others had to do with Euro, others had to do with the French government, others had to do with the scandal. But, so, we debate on anything. You name it, the team does it. We have to go prepared. We don't know, when we go to tournaments here in America, we don't know what the subject is.
So to just be thrown the subject and to come in second place and don't know absolutely nothing about the city or the state.
It indicates that there are skills that have been developed, and they do that through practices. The practice room back there, the practice room over there, practice room over there. So they're involved in it all of the time. So when passed by through here, they're passing it all of the time. And the areas, we do more than just debate. We do all of the areas of speech. We do poetry, we do prose, we do public speaking, we do extemporaneous speaking, we do impromptu speaking, we do newscasting, we do children's literature, we do readers' theater, we do all of them, and everybody does it. We don't have any specialists on the team. I'm a debater, or I'm an IE. No, we're all trained to achieve it all, and the trophies you see all around here are for every event, not just debate. Okay, does that help? Any answer? Yes.
I was on a speech and debate team last year, and I hope to do a lot more as I progress. Can you give any tips and kind of
But I don't know the situation in which work, but I would encourage you to continue to develop your skills and competencies. And it doesn't matter what you're chewing gum, and I'm talking to you chewing gum, that's this card. That's impolite. Somebody's talking to you, you're chewing gum. Will you discard it, please?
Yes, sir. Where's the trash can?
Now you get up and find the trash can. You brought the trash can. And this is something for you young people. Why do you chew gum in the public?
My apologies.
You look like a cow. Chewing this cud. Why do you do it? The gum ought to be chewed in the privacy of your car or your home, so that you don't affect somebody else. You see, you mar my vision when you are chopping your lips, and I want to see something straight, and you have now, we're talking about, and that's one of the things to remember. Don't ever get up and speak with gum in your mouth.
Yes, sir.
It's an impediment apart from looking bad. It interferes with your pronunciation of your words. You can't do it clearly because you have something obstructing the tongue. You see, now if God had intended for you to have an obstruction there, He would have given it to you. You wouldn't have had to use a piece of gum. You just stumble every time you went off from your mouth. Stage presence is of extreme importance. You must look confident. Now, the basis of looking confident is being confident. And you get that by adequate preparation. So you know what you're going to say when you get up there. You don't have any fears or any worry. Take advantage of every opportunity you have to speak. It doesn't matter how insignificant that opportunity is. For the more you speak, the better you will become. And if you have any problems, continuous work will help you over those problems. I will also say, don't let anybody discourage you to tell you that you can't do that, or that's too much for you. You be the measure of what you can do, and don't listen to anybody else. It's not going to be easy. The load may be a little difficult, but in the long run it will pay. If you put your application and on your application you have a member of the debate team, the other applications are put aside, and yours is to be considered. But people who have been trained in debate have a kind of confidence in themselves that is convincing to anyone who would want to employ you. Now, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Over here.
Yes?
If you could encourage them as a reason as to why come to TSU, what would you tell them?
You can find a better school nowhere. What you want, TSU has and will give to you better than any place else you go. TSU is a school with a relatively small enrollment, and because the enrollment is small, teachers have an opportunity to interact with students. So here you are not a number, you are a person, and we deal with you on that personal level. Every program here at the university is accredited and has been accredited for a number of years and has an extension of its accreditation for 10 years. So your diploma from Texas Southern will mean as much as a diploma from Harvard, Yale, or the University of Houston. And furthermore, if you come to TSU, you will have what no one else in the country has, to interact with the 94-year-old man. Does that answer your question about why come to TSU? To meet T.F. Raymond and to be one of his students. Yes.
So are you the president of this campus?
Yeah.
My position is coach of the university debate team. Our esteemed president is John Rodney. And on the outside, as you go, you'll see his picture on the top of it. Yeah. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where were you born?
Where what?
Where were you born?
Oh, yes. I was born and reared down where the South begins, in the garden spot of God's earth, in Richmond, Virginia. I attended the elementary and high schools there,